The new chairman of the Senate Health Committee has a message for the pharmaceutical industry that they're probably not going to like. Let's roll that.
As the new chairman of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee, I'm going to do everything I can to protect the needs of a struggling working class in this country. And that means we're going to take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, who charges the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, and lower those prices. We're going to expand healthcare in this country. Our eventual goal is healthcare for all through a Medicare for All single-payer program. We're going to deal with the crisis in childcare in this country, outrageous. That working families have to pay $15,000 a year to get their kids into childcare. We're going to deal with the issue of student debt. We'll deal with the fact that so many of our teachers are fleeing the profession at a time when we need the best public school system that we possibly can have. So we've got an enormous amount of work to be done. I look forward to work with you, the American people, and standing up to powerful special interest and start developing policy that works for all, not just the 1%. Thanks.
This is neither here nor there, but did you notice that he's wearing his I am asking you one more time jacket in there?
Oh, I feel like he always wears that in winter.
Yeah.
It's just his permanent state of existence.
It's very...
Should have had the mittens.
Bernie Sanders has one really nice jacket.
Right, yeah. Right. How good, from your perspective, is it to say chairman of the Senate Health Committee, Bernie Sanders? I mean, this guy 10 years ago was considered so fringe, right? Like nobody really took him seriously in Washington, D.C., except for leftists. The progressive movement obviously has taken him seriously since then, but I think it's an incredible testament to the work he's done over the last decade that he's now the chairman of the committee.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun saying Budget Committee chairman while the reconciliation process was the thing that everything was revolving around in the Senate. Having him be the one with the pen on that was, I think meant a significant difference in the Senate, and then as a result in the lives of hundreds of millions of people afterwards. So yes, we can put up this Axios tear sheet here, which has some fun. Sad quotes from drug maker lobbyists saying... Axios'
sponsors, by the way. Their corporate sponsors definitely include some of the pharma companies.
Yes, and for sure. Basically everything in Washington is funded by drug makers, weapons makers, whatever kind of variety of content creators need protections for whatever rents they're seeking at the time, and that's oil and gas. Yeah, like those are like if you flip through, the kind of roll call Politico Hill on the Hill. Those are the full page ads that you're going to see. But yeah, so a bunch of fun quotes from them saying, don't worry, we'll be ready. But we do expect that we're going to take a beating. With Axios acknowledging that Republicans control the House of Representatives so that Sanders won't be able to enact some of his more ambitious schemes. But we should get some good hearings out of it at least.
Well, this is to Axios. One pharmaceutical industry source said, quote, "I think that's going to be a real challenge," referring to, quote, "I have no doubt there will be tough hearings with people from industry being forced to testify, subpoenaed to testify, et cetera." And then the source goes on to say, that's going to be a real challenge. It is going to be a real challenge. And there are more quotes over the course of this article where this is a consultant for Pharma who says, "We're seeing companies intensify their proactive education and advocacy efforts while also preparing to deal with fresh attacks from the senator." Axios says the consultant added that there's hope attention can shift to other players in the drug supply chain.
Yes.
Which, fine. Like, why not both would be my answer.
That goes back to the story we were talking about last week where big tech is urging Congress not to focus on big tech, but to go after Live Nation and Ticketmaster, which, yeah, go after Live Nation and Ticketmaster, but it doesn't mean you don't go after big tech as well.
Yeah, and actually this is another really interesting part of this. Sanders wrote a Fox News op-ed where he said, quote, "Greedy pharma rips off Americans." That's the move to put that in Fox News, and I think he's placed op-eds there before, when, by the way, it was a controversy for Democrats to do town halls on Fox News in 2020 or whatever, despite the fact that maybe some of the people who watch Fox News are completely open to different messages on different issues because it has a big audience. Whatever you think of as the average Fox News viewer is certainly like a stereotype that's not representative of the bulk of people that are watching that show, because it just gets big audiences, meaning there are a lot of people listening. And if you're watching Tucker Carlson, you've probably seen a lot of overlap between Tucker and some people on the left. So it's, I think, very shrewd of Bernie to go after, quote, greedy pharma in Fox News.
Yeah. And I'm also curious whether or not he's going to use it as a wedge against Republicans who are now talking about strengthening Medicare. And by strengthening, as we talked about earlier, Medicare, they mean cutting it. And you'll also see, I think it was Jim Jordan or maybe it was Steve Scalise recently saying, look, why are you coming after us for saying that we're going to cut Medicare when the only people who have cut Medicare are these Democrats who cut hundreds of millions of dollars out of Medicare with their reconciliation package. And what they mean by that is they allowed Medicare to negotiate drug prices, and that's going to save Medicare money. And so they're calling that a cut. And so you wind up then kind of jamming Republicans up, it seems like, saying, wait a minute, you don't support allowing Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices? That's like when they poll that, I think that polls higher than the number of people in Santos's district who think he should resign.
Well, back in the Tea Party years, there was this real effort to color people as either makers or takers and to really shame people.
Paul Ryan's failed attempt at branding something.
Yeah, it's a dichotomy. You're either a maker or you're a taker. And obviously, taker is pejorative and maker is this huge compliment. And you'd see them talk about CEOs, and obviously this has been true of Republicans for a long time.
Takers, right?
No, they're right. They're makers. They're not takers, of course. Even though, of course, the corporate welfare queens are a much bigger threat to the country. But all that is to say, I'm really curious if Republicans can make this logical leap in their head, which is such an easy one to do. They've been really upset with, I think, some of the reprehensible tactics. I'm sure you see it in pharma. We've seen it in the defense industry. We've seen it in the media, corporate media space. We've seen it from just about every major corporation. These awful signals on different issues that I think have really changed the norms in this country, that have been damaging on a variety of issues. Like cancel culture is a really good one. So if they're upset about woke CEOs and they think that reflects a lack of character, they think these CEOs are awful, should they not then logically extend that to the character of the CEOs treating other human beings like garbage? Like, if you think they're going to do it on cultural issues, what tells you that these are not greedy pharma executives, that it's not excessive greed beyond what is necessary to power the free market? If you can make that logical leap, you can see how economically they're doing the same BS because they don't care who they hurt in the process.
Except these are their big donors.
And they don't know who they hurt in the process.
Right, these are their donors. They're the CEOs, the presidents, the CFOs, the executive vice presidents, the lobbyists that work for them. They're all their big donors, and so they might believe that, but they're not gonna say it to them.
Well, I'm curious to see the rest of the committee from Democrats because, again, Social Security and Medicare, those are sacrosanct. Like, Democrats are never going to talk about them. Post 2011 and whatever Obama was doing during that re-election campaign when he was flirting with austerity, but. Democrats, when you start getting into really chipping away at the power of pharma, and if Bernie Sanders is the chairman of the Help Committee, he probably is going to push them in some uncomfortable directions too.
Looking forward to it.
Sounds fun to me.
Yeah. We'll live stream it.
We should do that. That would be really fun. We'll have some popcorn.
All right, we'll see you then.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Soccer and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.